Blessings, beloved. I am Astarius Miraculi. I love you so much, and I'm here to put some miles on your smile, some wiggle in your giggle, some tingling in your boots, and you'll have laughter ever after. Life is a delicious something, I tell you. Today I bring the message of emotional copulation and all things relative to the emotional body. I have a little download. I'm going to share with you some wisdom centered around the emotionality of who we all are. And before I bring that verbal download, I want to offer some didgeridoo. And what I'd like for you to do is to focus upon the areas wherein you are requiring emotional balance. Maybe some of the areas wherein you've been a little bit fearful of who you are as an emotional being. And it's time to let go of being afraid with regards to the emotional resonance of who we are. Because emotions are energy in motion. And the lifespan of a thought is always determined by the measure of emotional energy that the thought is propelled with. So it's important for us to recognize the ways in which our emotions are allies. So these didgeridoo vibrations, this one I named after myself. I call this one Astarius Miraculi. And I had it fashioned so I could play back into my own energy field. And this is for the balancing of our emotional being. Life is licious. As my daughter used to say when she was a little baby girl, she raised her fork and she had some food she loved, she said, "Licious!" And that's how life is. Life is licious. As I say, I want you to have some wiggle in your giggle, some miles on your smile, some tingling in your boots, and have laughter ever after. And so, this thing, emotions, it reminds me of a wonderful poem that I wrote at a time when I really began to get in touch with who I am as an emotional being. And I call it From Stinking Thinking to Revealing Feeling, where I say the things I know by what I think are partly good and they partly stink. Not a bad start, but partly sealed. Truth of the head is half revealed. What was the bid when I was a little kid? If I want to be smart, then learn it by heart. What a dread when I learned it by head, for in all my learning I woke up dead. How can my truth be alive and real unless it's truth that I can feel? Down the highway of ignorance and strife, mere thinking was at the wheel of my life. Intellect was wheeling and dealing, but now I'm chauffeured by my feeling. I don't mind showing what's inside. We are all one. Why should I hide? When I do, from me I steal, for I can't heal what I won't reveal. And I can't heal what I'm unwilling to feel. So life, mother of all good things, thanks for the wisdom feeling brings. And feeling, there is nothing new except that which my soul once knew, except that which my soul always knew. From stinking thinking to revealing feeling, let's all open up and have a healing. So you can't heal what you won't reveal, and you can't heal what you are unwilling to feel. Oftentimes very difficult or challenging feelings tend to surface, but they have to surface first before they can move out of our energy field. And sometimes we may feel them, they may be challenging or difficult feelings, and we feel them momentarily as they begin to, drop away from our energy field. We live, here in this Western world, particularly in a society that trains us away from our feelings. Big girls don't cry, big boys don't cry. Somebody starts to cry and the person says, "Oh, don't cry." The pretense is, "I care about you, don't cry." But oftentimes they're saying, "You're making me very uncomfortable, please stop crying." And so this component of our being that we have called feelings is a very important part of who we are, because that is the frequency that gives energy to any and everything that we'd like to bring into manifestation. A thought must be embodied with a tremendous amount of feeling in order to have a longer lifespan, a greater energy field, and a greater magnetism to therefore attract other thoughts of a like nature, building a thought tribe until such time that those thoughts will then morph into crystallization. But they have to be fed with the energy of emotion first. That's energy in motion. So, emotional copulation. Just as there is physical copulation, the sexual interchange between beings that promotes physical life or pleasure, there is also emotional copulation that takes place. When you engage with another being on an emotional level, you're impregnating them with something, they're impregnating you with something, and that something is going to be born into however you express it afterwards. Sometimes it can be something healthy, or sometimes it can be something unhealthy. And so we want to start having a healthier relationship with our feelings. See, as I said in the poem, the things I know by what I think are partly good and they partly stink. If we're only engaging from a place of the mind, there is something dead. You see, the mind alone is not enough. We have to have the mind fused with the feeling nature. If the mind and feelings were siblings, then feelings are actually the elder sibling, because the feeling nature is experiential. When we experience God through our feeling nature, not so much through the mind. We can use the mind to articulate that which transpired, but that which happens at the level of feelings. So it's time for us to demystify this thing we call feelings and learn to make them our ally, and to be really mindful of who and what we're emotionally engaging with, and what it is that we're allowing ourselves to be impregnated with at the feeling level. All of us have some degree of empathicness, meaning that we can feel other people's vibrations, their thoughts, their feelings, their joys, their pains, and their sorrows, as if they are our own. And so sometimes, if you're around somebody who has a kind of a negative energy about themselves, and you were feeling fine, and the next thing you know, you're pulled into that negative energy, then you want to do a disclaimer. Wait a minute, this is not my energy. I don't have to own it. And you don't even have to weigh and measure, well, does this negative thought or does this negative feeling come from me or come from another person? If it is a negative thought or a negative feeling, it's not yours, because that which is truly yours is that which is co-eternal and co-in alignment with God, Goddess Absolute. You see, anything that is not of the resonance of eternity is truly not yours. It has a temporary existence. It's like the magician's trick. Now you see it, now you don't. Was it really there at all? And so it's time for us to truly stand in the resonance of the power, the wisdom, the love that we are, the peace that we are, the bliss that we are. Because we are the stuff that God is made of. We are microcosmic extensions of Source, of the Creator. And we want to use our feeling nature to more greatly exemplify this divinity that we carry within our central core. And so take this message to heart. Come into more harmonious alignment with your feeling nature. Don't be afraid of who you are as a feeling being. And be careful about what it is that you're absorbing from others. But not only that, be mindful of what it is that you are projecting into other people's energy field, because the emotions that you shed are the emotions that you're going to have to wed. The emotions that you spread is what you wed. You want to wed, or that is, you want to spread that which you would like to wed, because you're going to have to become married to whatever it is that you're putting out there. If you want to wed peace, then you need to spread peace. If you want to wed joy, then you need to spread joy. You want to wed love, then spread love. And when you're sharing your love, don't weigh and measure so much, well, to what extent are they reciprocating this love? To what extent are they giving back the love that I'm sharing with them? Sometimes we come from this tit-for-tat place. Like, I'll love you if you love me in like manner. But what we want to remember when we are sharing with another being, that we're having a rendezvous with God. And regardless of how that other being is responding, God is in great appreciation for the love that we share, and will always reciprocate a blessing back to us for the sharing of that love. But we must stay in joyous appreciation for being able to share that love, and to share that love with everyone. And for those who are not able to share love in like manner, there's a suffering going on inside of them, because loving is a wonderful thing. It's a godly thing. And whenever one is not doing that, there is some measure of self-hatred going on inside, or some fear, some sense of not being safe. And so we want to be patient with beings like that, and be a champion in the ways of love, a champion in the ways of balanced emotional expression. I am Astarius Miraculi. I love you so much. And I invite you to go and experience my website. I've got some amazing treasures over there, a number of CDs and some books. I'm also available for psychic astrology readings and for sound healing transmissions with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics. I do that in person if you happen to be in the Atlanta, Georgia area, which is where I'm located. But I also do this work by way of phone and by way of Skype. And I work with people all over the world. So I would love to do some more personal work for a greater measure of empowerment. So I would appreciate the opportunity to serve and empower you to an even greater extent. I also have a donation button on my website. If you feel moved and touched by the messages that I share, I am so honored to receive any tithes or donations as we play in the field of win-win together. Aho, Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Hotep, In Lakesh, Alak, In, Shalom, Satnam, Hariom. Your sacred juices are cooked. Juices, yes. Your sacred juices are cooked. Our sacred juices are cooked and infinitely expanding.